Okay, today we're working on 1.6, and it's a review of arithmetic operations. So, how many of you, do you guys ever use Venmo? Your mom uses Venmo? We used to write checks. That's so, yeah, I haven't written a check in a long time. So, Venmo or PayPal, way better. So, we are going to talk about addition and subtraction as though it's a Venmo operation. So, in Venmo, you can send money to people, okay? But you can also request money from people. So I could make a pay request and say, "Hey, Monty, you've been annoying me since the first day of school. You owe me $20." And I'd send that to him. And then he is obligated under the laws of the universe to send me that money. Okay. So, let's talk about positive or addition as somebody sending you money. Okay? So this would be receiving. I can never spell receive. There's a somewhere in there all the right letters. So receiving money and subtraction is sending money. Okay? So if you have $8 and somebody sends you $3, you now have 11. How wonderful. Okay? If you have $12 and you send me $4, you now have, how about 8? That's okay. Okay. Now, let's do something a little bit weird. And you can't go into the negatives in Venmo, but we're going to pretend that you can. What if your Venmo account is $15 in the hole? And I feel bad for you, so I send you $10. You are now $5 in the hole. Yes. Well, they don't issue credit, so they're not going to let you spend money you don't have. Okay. So what if you are $12 in the hole and you send me $3? Yeah, the transaction doesn't go through, but theoretically, you're $15 in the hole. Okay? What if you are $5 in the hole and I send you $12? Now you're $7 ahead. Okay? All right. What if you have $8 and you send me $14? Now you're $6 in the hole. So is everybody okay with all of that? Okay. Now I'm going to do something really weird. This is just straight up addition and subtraction of positive numbers. So watch this. So it is, didn't you know? So what if you have $8 and you send me a request that has negative $4 in it? What? So I am sending you a request where you have to pay me $4. Right? Because subtraction means send. Right? But instead of sending you money, I am sending you a request for money, which means you've got to pay me. Right? So if I send you money, my account goes down and your account goes up. But if I send you a request for payment, then you flip that around and pay me. So what would 8 minus -4 be? It's the same as plus 4, which would be 12. Do you see why that happens? So the adage is 2 negatives make a positive. But you need to understand what the mechanism is here. So instead of clicking pay, you click request, or sorry, I click request, right? Your friendship dues are due. So I send you a request for payment. So I'm not sending you $4. I'm sending you -$4, which means you need to pay me. Does that make sense? Okay. So what if you have $15 and this happens? What does that mean? You have $15 and then what happens? Right. Plus always means receive. So you have $15 and you receive a payment or a request. You receive a request. So you have to send $6 away. So if you add a negative, that's the same as being a subtraction. So now that would be $9. Hey, no, the laws of the universe say you're obligated. Venmo runs the universe. You don't. But do you see how that works? Okay. So explain to me what this means. What does that mean? You're in the hole $5, and then you send a request for $2. You're not sending a payment, you're sending a request. So if you are $5 in the hole and you send a $2 request, what's the end result? -3 because you receive $2. Nice shot. You do have a purpose. All right. What about this one? What if I had -12 minus +13? What's happening here? $12 in the hole. And you send. Subtraction is always send. So you send, is this a request or is this a payment? So if you sent a request for a payment, then your money is going to increase. Right? Well, if I got rid of this, then we wouldn't have a problem. It's just -12 minus 13. So this is just sending a payment. It just looked kind of funny because I put a positive in there. So there's a difference between negative and subtraction, right? Negative tells you if it's a payment or a request. Subtraction means you're sending. So if I were to read this, -3, minus -1, this is a negative, this is a subtraction, and this is a negative. Do you guys see the difference? Negatives tell you what the sign of that number is, but subtraction tells you if it's a payment or, sorry, if it's sending or receiving. Okay. So let's do this one. 5 plus -2. What does that mean? So plus always, right. You received a request for $2. What if it was 5 plus positive 2? How is that different? You receive a $2 payment. Okay? All right, so let me pull your assignment over so we can look through that. Okay, so look at this one. Reuben is riding in a bike race that goes through a valley and a nearby mountain range. The table gives the altitude in feet above sea level for the 5 checkpoints in the race. The top of the hill rises 540 feet above checkpoint 2. What is the altitude of the top of the hill? So checkpoint 2 is below sea level. It happens sometimes. Okay. There is no such place on Earth. It doesn't go that deep. So the Dead Sea is 100 or 2 feet below sea level. Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, but that's under the water. Yeah. That's not land. Okay. So how would you figure this out? If checkpoint 2 is 185 feet below sea level, and the top of the hill is 540 feet above that, what is the altitude of the top of the hill? Do you see what it's asking? So you have this track that you're riding on, and here's sea level, right? And you're going in this direction, and you get to the bottom. This right here is -1, was it 85? 87? 85. Okay. Now, this hill climb is 540 feet. So from here to here is 540. What we want to know is, how high above sea level is this hill? Yeah, it's just going to be 540 minus 185. It's beautiful. Yeah. All right, what about multiplication? We figured out the rules for addition and subtraction. What about multiplication? Well, we could start 3 times 2 is 6. What if I did 3 times -2? The answer would be -6. What about -3 times +2? That's still -6. And -3 times -2? +6. So positive times positive, positive. Positive times negative, or negative times positive, are both negative. And then negative and negative multiplied together equals positive. And the same is true of division. So if I change the multiplication to division, the same is true. So, in this assignment, and this is a long assignment because there's so many easy questions. No. All right, 56 divide -7 is going to be -8. And negative 4 times negative 3, positive 12. Okay? Whoa. Okay, what about number 31? What is a positive times a negative times a negative? Why positive? Right. So what if there were 7 terms? How are you going to figure out? Count the negatives. And what does that tell you? If? So what about this? 2 times negative 1 times 4 times negative 6 divided by negative 2 times 3 times negative 5. What is the end result going to be? A positive. How come? We count the negatives. 1, 2, 3, 4 negatives. An even number of negatives always gives you a positive. So if I changed one of them, now I have 5 negatives, and it's going to be a negative. Okay? Okay. What about number 33? How do we do that? Well, how do you do 3 times y minus 7? Distribute. What is 3 times y? 3y. What is 3 times negative 7? So 3y minus 21. Okay. Actually, let's get rid of. All right. I think that is everything. So I want you to do this. You can use a calculator on those story problems that have bigger numbers. But for all of the small addition and multiplication, I want you to do those in your head for practice. All right? Get to work.